How's it going, everyone? This is the George here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This film was directed by Jeff Rowe and written by Seth Rogen, as was highly promoted in the movie. And in this movie, we see a coming to age story with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As this showcases the more teenage side of the Ninja Turtles, as well as them trying to take on a crime syndicate and realizing that they're going up against something more than what they first assumed. And also, they want to be more involved in the human world despite their father, Splinter, telling them how evil humans are and having a distrust with them. So, when it comes to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I remember growing up watching the 2003 animated series that used to be on 4Kids, which went through several different name changes, including the CW 4Kids throughout the years. That was a program that had not just the Ninja Turtles, but also had Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Sonic the Hedgehog, and other action cartoons and anime throughout the years. And I remember loving like those first few seasons. I think it was like the last season or two I wasn't all that interested in, but overall I had a great time with that show. I also love the 2012 animated series. That was probably one of my favorite animated series in the 2010s. And I remember there was a time where there wasn't a whole lot of good stuff on Nickelodeon, but that was like the one thing I would go back and watch multiple times, even more so than SpongeBob. But I loved the depiction of the Ninja Turtles in that show a lot. As far as the movies go, I enjoy the first live action Turtles film from the 1990s a lot. I also like Secret of the Ooze. I know it's not the greatest movie ever, but I enjoy that movie. The third film is just bad. It's just a bad movie overall. The 2007 TMNT animated movie was okay. As far as the ones that Michael Bay produced, the ones where Megan Fox played April O'Neil. I remember seeing the 2014 film once on TV, and halfway through it, I became more interested in the college schoolwork that I was doing as the film was on, more so than the movie. I never even seen the 2016 film Out of the Shadows. In fact, I almost forgot that film existed until one of my friends did a stream on that movie recently. But based on how the Ninja Turtle movies have gone, kind of feels similar to how I feel about some of the Transformer movies. Some of the movies I enjoy a lot or thought were okay, and then there were some that I just thought were not good to terrible. But I feel like with an animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, I feel like you can do a lot more creatively, and I feel like you can tell when a movie is being made by someone who is a fan of the work, as we have seen with some of the more recent Transformer movies that came out after Michael Bay ruined that franchise with Bumblebee and Transformers Rise of the Beast. And I feel like you can see the same thing here with Mutant Mayhem. This is a film that is very unique, does some different things that we've seen from other Ninja Turtle movies and shows, but at the same time, still feels like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. For example, with how the Ninja Turtles are portrayed, we see the more teenage side of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In fact, they got teenagers to voice the Ninja Turtles. But at the same time, they still keep the personalities of the of each turtle. Michelangelo is still the immature, jokey one. Raphael is the aggressive one. Leonardo is the leader. Donatello is the brains. So they managed to, so the Ninja Turtles still feel like the Ninja Turtles that we know. But their designs are also a bit different. They're a lot more slimmer and less bulky than what we usually see. But I honestly enjoyed what they did with this. It's a coming of age story where they're teenagers and they want to do teenage stuff. They want to go to school. They want to meet other teenagers, but at the same time, understand that society may not accept them. They definitely do a lot of different things with Master Splinter, or in this case, he's just Splinter. In this film, we see the more father side of Splinter, and unlike other versions where he's either Hamata Yoshi or the pet rat of Hamata Yoshi, he has no connection to that character whatsoever. But honestly, I didn't mind that because what they did with Splinter, I think, still worked. they still give a reason as to why he teaches his sons to fight, even though it's different from other versions that we've previously seen. And yeah, he's a lot more overprotective in this film, but there is a reason why he's overprotective. There is a reason why he distrusts humans a lot. And Jackie Chan, who voices Splinter, did a very good job voicing him. April O'Neil, feels like they combined all the versions of April O'Neil into one April O'Neil in this film. And I feel like this is probably one of the more relatable versions of April O'Neil that we've gotten, because similar to other versions, she wants to be a journalist, she wants to be a reporter, but she also has this fear of being in front of the camera. And I feel like that's pretty relatable. There's been times where I get very nervous before making a video or a stream. But I liked how they handled April O'Neil in this film. Back to Master Splinter, though, because there's actually one thing I do want to address with Master Splinter. The only thing I didn't really like with how they handled Master Splinter in this movie is, or Splinter, I keep calling him Master Splinter, but he's not really a master in this film. He's the father of the Ninja Turtles, the adoptive father. The one thing I will say about Splinter is, at some point in this film, he has a relationship with Scumbug in this film, and I know they changed Scumbug's gender in this film, where Scumbug is a female, and I don't mind that. That's not the problem. It's just there's this romance between Scumbug and Splinter that just comes out of nowhere. And I know it's supposedly for laughs, and I will say the humor in this movie is hilarious. That's probably the one joke that I wasn't a huge fan of. It just because like the romance all of a sudden just came out of left field. But other than that, I liked how they handled Splinter in this movie. Back to the humor, I will say the humor is hilarious. A lot of the jokes do connect to pop culture references. And I feel like when you're making a lot of pop culture references and make them into jokes, it can get very old. But in this film, it didn't get old. I found a lot of them to be hilarious, most likely due to the fact that I understood a lot of them. But yeah, the humor works in this film. So in this film, they do something a lot different compared to most Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. In this case, Splinter is not the main antagonist. It is a mutant called Superfly. And I know Baxter Stockman's in the beginning of this film, and we expect Baxter Stockman to be the one that becomes Superfly, but no, Superfly is this mutant fly thing that Baxter Stockman is experimenting on at the beginning of the movie, and Superfly basically takes these other animals or mutants that Baxter Stockman was experimenting on and raised them in his family. And the reason why Superfly hates humans, we understand the motivation, and Ice Cube does a very good job of voicing the character. As far as the mutants go, I will say the mutant designs look great as well. It just feels like some of the characters felt wasted, and there were a couple of missed opportunities, I feel like, with some of them. For example, Bebop and Rocksteady are in this movie, and they're part of this mutant family that Superfly has. And it feels like at a certain point of the movie, they could have done something different with them, but they just landed up being supporting characters. And I understand there's a lot of mutants in this film, but it just felt like, I wouldn't even say supporting characters, actually. I would say they felt more like background mutant characters. And I felt like at a certain point in the film, without spoiling, they could have done something with them to make them stand out and different from the other mutant characters. But it just felt like there was just a missed opportunity there, in my opinion, without getting into a lot of spoilers. It was nice to see other characters like Leatherhead and Mondo Gecko in the film. Paul Rudd does a very good job voicing that character. And this is where we see some of the bigger names do the voice acting in this movie. Seth Rogen and John Cena voice Bebop and Rocksteady. Also, Giancarlo Esposito did do the voice of Baxter Stockman at the beginning of the movie as well. And the voice acting is very good. And I know some people will complain and say it felt like a lot of the voice actors were wasted. But honestly, I didn't mind that. I thought it fit pretty well. If anything, I would say the runtime of this movie could have been longer. This is a movie that's almost an hour and 40 minutes long, but it's like an hour and 39 minutes long, and that includes credits. And this is like one of those movies that I wish probably could have been 10 minutes longer, or I wouldn't have mind an extra 10 minutes because I enjoyed what we were getting. It felt like, because with animation, I feel like you can do a lot more creatively, especially with the action, and the action was entertaining and cool to watch. So you probably could have added an extra 10 minutes, in my opinion. But I love the direction that this movie went, even though it did do a lot of things differently, especially with Splinter's character. But overall, I had a great time with this movie. And yeah, the first Ninja Turtle movie will always have a special place in my heart. I grew up watching that movie. I enjoy that movie. I would probably say this is probably definitely the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that we've gotten so far. And I think it's probably my new favorite one. One, yeah, it's definitely my favorite one because I feel like there was a lot more uniqueness with this movie compared to some of the other ones that we've gotten. I love the voice acting. The teenagers that they got to voice act the Ninja Turtles did a terrific job. And outside of maybe a couple of decisions that, even though I understand what they were trying to do, kind of felt like missed opportunities or were unnecessary, I love the direction that they're going with this franchise. And there is a mid-credit scene, and I love the setup of the mid-credit scene. And I hope we get to see more of what's coming in this series. But overall, I'm going to give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem an A minus. And I wish I could have talked more about the animation. I will say it will remind you of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with how unique it is. And it's just great to see other animation studios, or at least other studios, step up with their animated movies. I know for the longest time it just felt like Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks were up here and everyone else was down here. And it's nice to see these other animation studios stepping up, especially in regards to doing animated movies based on established IPs like Spider-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But what are your thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And what's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie? Let me know in the comments down below. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share us with someone that loves the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whether it's cartoons, the comics, the movies, the video games. And hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.